Guys, midweek out in the shed, getting it done. But I have come up against somewhat of an issue. It's not really going to affect me too bad because it's getting run anyway, but I've opened up these new rings, decided I was going to gap them tonight, and I've gone and put them in the bores, and the gap's already too big. But they're close enough and it's what we have, so we're going to use it. So basically I'm assuming that when we've honed out this block, it probably wasn't already, obviously it wasn't perfect, everyone saw the condition of it, and to clean it up, it's gone slightly oversized. It isn't up to 10th hour over, obviously, it's just slightly past where it was. It was really rusty and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, what we've got is we've cleaned the block up as best we can, and we're using the rings as best we can. And yeah, so the gaps, I won't be gapping them. I'm just going to chuck them in as they are. I've measured up every single ring and I've put them basically in the cylinders that suit them best. But it turns out we've ended up having top ring gaps around 28th hour, which is about 4th hour over where I want them to be. 4th hour, not that worried about it. It is too big, not gonna lie, but I can't really change it, and another set of rings isn't gonna fix it. So 28th thou on the top rings, and then we've got about 30th thou on the second rings. And yeah, what do you do, boys? Brand new rings, tired old 253 block that's been cleaned up good enough to get it to run, and second-hand pistons and everything else. So it is what it is. So have a look at this, and yeah, we're running it. Too bad, just getting it. So here we go. So I've got all the my rings in here, gone along and stuck my fuel gauge in there and gapped them all, and these are all 28th thou on this side for the top ring, and then all of the second rings are all 30th thou. Top ring 28, second 30, 28 30, 28 31, 28 31. So 5 and 7 are 3th thou larger on the second ring. Over on the other side we've got, what's that, 29 and 32, 30 32, 29 32, 29 32. So yeah, I'm not that impressed by it, and it definitely could do with a bore, but we're just not doing that. This project is get it together and get it to run. So we've done everything else, we've come this far, and we're not getting it bored, and it's just not in the budget, and I don't want to. Just going to put this thing together now and see how it goes. So stick around. I'll put these rings on the pistons and we'll start putting the pistons in, and yeah, we're going to start getting this thing finished off now. Hopefully hopefully it's not enough to make a real issue, and hopefully it still runs and it's all good. Cross fingers. Let's do it. Alright guys, we're almost all the way through putting the rings on these pistons. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes of footage of me installing these last few for you, just so you can see how it's done. You can see here, these ones are all done already. I've got, what's that, 2, 4, there's 6 on the bench done, I've got 2 left, so I'll probably just record those in time lapse, and maybe I'll do the first one normal, and then the second one time lapse, and then we'll start putting these in. Alright, so grab your piston, number 2, cylinder number 2. So, with your oil ring, you can see there that the ends are pointing down. That's the way that I install them. I guess you could install them up, but I don't. I do it this way. So those parts are down, and with your oil ring, chuck it on there, hold onto it with your thumb, and then you can just roll it around. Okay. And then you've got the oil control ring here. These take two, so pop that in above, roll it around again. Alright, that's the top one. Last one. So pop that in the bottom this time, hold it with your thumb, roll it around. And as I go around on these, I make sure that center wave ring, whatever that's called, just doesn't pop out of there. Alright, oil control rings are done. Now, the hard part. Yeah, alright. Second ring. Make sure there's no dust or sand or anything on it. And then you'll have a dot on the top. So top goes up, dot goes up. Now what I do is I start my end gap in the groove, put a small amount of pressure on my thumbs, and I'm going to push down with my forefingers. Now this can go wrong, and I have snapped rings before, so let's hope that doesn't happen. So a little bit of pressure, a little bit of pressure. Oh, hang on, hard to do it in front of the camera. Get that in there, pulling out in your thumbs, and that one's on. So that's your second ring. Now top ring. So with these rings, the second ring has a chamfer, and the chamfer goes up. So make sure you've got that in the right way, and also they've got a dot on the top of them anyway. So there's a couple of ways there that you're not going to get too mixed up. Alright, top ring. What's going on there? Well, that was weird. There's some sort of glue, like hard glue or something stuck on there. I don't think I did it. Well, sure I didn't do it. I don't know why it was on there, but it's not now, so gave it a little bit of a scrape off. It's good to go. Alright, so dot right there, up to the top. Stick it in your ring groove. Thumbs on the ends. A little bit of pressure with your fingers. Bam. On. That easy. Now, the last thing you want to do is, let's push this down a bit. The last thing you want to do is get your ring gaps. You don't want them all lined up with each other. So your bottom ring gap, I usually line up here, and then my top ring, I stick it in the exact opposite position up here. That way you're going to get less chance of the rings actually meeting each other and blowing your gas straight past them. Alright, so that's that one. One more. Alright guys, that's it. That's the last one. So we're ready to go now. All the new rings are on all the new pistons. They're all there, ready to go. So we're going to start putting them in now. Hell yeah, that's the time that makes me really excited. So get some assembly lube out of the cabinet, make sure this thing's given a good wipe over again. Gonna start chucking these things in. Let's do it. You want to protect your crankshaft from your rod bolts. So what you need to do is get yourself a piece of fuel hose, snip yourself off 2 bits, chuck them over your rod bolts. Alright, now what you're going to do is go into your store, parts department with all your brand new parts, and grab yourself a set of big end bearings. So we'll go and do that now. We only want the best. So we're going to get them out of stock now. What else have we got? Well, that says standard, that's no good. Standard. Alright. Gonna have to go and check in the other parts department. Okay, what have we got in here? That says 10 thou. Not the best. What else have we got? What have we got in here? 308 stuff. Standard. Third time's the charm. Right, this looks like 253 stuff. Hey, what have we got here? That's better colour. Yeah, that says 10 thou. Alright. How many of them have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, pull those out of there. You wanted it, guys. So that's what we're getting. This is full budget. Budget racing, budget engine building, and using what you've got. We aren't buying brand new parts, even bearings. We've got brand new rings. I mean, that's about as best as I can do for you. So let me get these things out of here. Alright guys, those pistons and everything are out of there. I'm going to clean up these bearings and go in for the night, but I'll see you in the morning. Okay guys, we're on the hunt. On the hunt for some bearings. Now, this is what we've got to deal with. Bits and pieces. Do not be scared. This sort of stuff. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Don't be scared. We're going to get a set of bearings together and the motor's going together today. So, what have we got? Let's have a look. Yeah. Copper, copper. Next. I'll look at that one in a minute. Copper. Doesn't seem to be copper there. That one look okay. That one's not. Maybe. No. I think that's a good one. Let's get that out and have a look. Don't know about that one, but this one looks like it's alright. Alright guys, I've actually pulled every piston I have, checked every single bearing, every big end bearing I have. I've gone through my whole stock of every single rod, piston, everything I've got, every single one of these, and gone through all of my broken stuff. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they're all worn out. Everything's down to the copper. But I did make a full set. I found a full set in one of the engines, bar one bearing. So after going through all of this stuff, all of that stuff, basically everything I own, I've come up with, these are my options. Believe it or not, these are the best that I've got of everything I have left. So as you can see, this one's right on the verge of spinning, right down to the backing of the bearing. This one's almost all the way through as well. This one, they've all taken a fair beating. It's probably, yeah, none of these are really passable. And then, so I had these two as a pair, so really bad. Looks like it's on the verge of spinning on the one on the left there. And then this one, ever so slightly, but there's still bearing material. So I think it was starting to nip up or something. But this one, it's gonna get back in, it's going in. And look at that. That's going in there as well. So that's the best of a bad bunch. And no one's gonna like it, and honestly I don't really like it. And it's yeah, right on the edge of what I'm comfortable doing. It's over the edge, I've gone over the edge. But here we are, and it's engine build day, so they're going in, along with all the rest, which actually turned out to be pretty good. So all of these are actually, they're all fine. So yeah, hey, I'll just make a note of which cylinder they go into, and if this thing ever gets pulled apart again, if it actually lives more than a couple of runs down the strip, well, we'll possibly put a set of rings in it and bearings then. Oh, sorry, not rings. Put a set of bearings in it then. But yeah guys, this is what you do if you got heaps of stuff laying around and you want to build something without spending any money at all. Well, there you go. Go through everything you've got and make it work. And I mean, I'm spending a little bit of money. I've bought a set of rings, set of bearings. Sorry, I spent a little bit of money. I spent some money on some gaskets. I've bought a set of rings and a couple other little things, but I definitely haven't gone into any sort of well, mate, honestly I haven't spent anything, I don't think. Yeah, I've bought rings and gaskets to put it back together, that's it. I bought cam bearings because I had to, because I knocked the old ones out to do our Come Racing mod. But yeah, so I think on this engine I've got about, I don't know, $200 in it or something, 250 50 bucks. That's it. So we're about to slap this thing together now. Not ideal, but it's what it's getting. So let's get stuck into putting this thing together. Okay guys, number one drew the short straw. Number one is going to get the worst Holden 253 bearings that have ever existed. So if we have an explosion or something lets go and it's number one, we'll know why. But number one's getting it, so let's go. So which one am I going to put where? Do I put the one that's most beaten up on the cap end or the rod end? Probably put it on the rod end, because the rod seems to not get as much abuse as the cap. So we'll do that. Now to choose which one's the worst of the two. Far out. They're both so bad. Oh my god, they're terrible. They are so terrible. This is dodgy even for me. Like, I've done some things before, but never gone this far. I guess it doesn't really matter which one goes where, because either way they're both absolutely annihilated. I think I'll put this one here with a little bit of heat damage. I'll put that on the rod end, I reckon, and I'll put this one down the cap end. It doesn't really matter, it's just they're both as bad as each other, so it doesn't matter. Wherever they go, they're going to be bad, and this thing's probably going to knock. And every expert out there that wants to tell me that I shouldn't do this, well, I am doing it. And I'm doing it because it's $0. And if it does 5 passes and does 12-second quarter mile, or even anywhere near that, I'll be happy. I'll be happy if this thing runs and is able to drive to the end of the quarter mile. That'll make me happy. If this thing can start up, stage, and drive to the end of the quarter mile at any pace and get to the end, I'll be happy. So everything else on top of that's just a bonus. Bit of carby cleaner. Get everything cleaned up. Bearings. Alright, so this one's going to go up the top. Or is this one going to go up the top? God, I don't know. I'll get these fitted and I'll come back to you. Alright, I've decided. Number one, piston and rod. We're going to put that worn one, we're going to put that on the cap end. Even though it is worn, it's got way more bearing material. And, I don't know what that noise was. And on the rod end, we've got the other one that doesn't show any damage, but it's much more worn. There's some copper showing through it. I don't know if you can see that. So that's what I've decided to go with, and it's going in the engine right now. So we're going to start fitting the pistons, and we're starting with number one. So don't go anywhere. Alright, just measuring up my sleeve here. The piston ring installing tool. Just making sure I've got the right one. So I've got the 3 5/8 tool here. So all I'm doing is just making sure that that's going to go on, and just making sure that when I go to compress these rings, we're actually going to compress all the way down, which we have. So that's the one we're using. It says bottom on the bottom, so you make sure this is up against the block, and then you go whacking them in. So let's get started. We're going to time lapse these. So something unexpected is about to go wrong. I'm fitting the pistons backwards as per Uncle Tony's garage experiment that he did. He reckons that it makes more power when you fit them back to front. So right now I'm trying to get these pistons in, but I'm immediately aware that it's not going to work on this engine. So watch the rest of the time lapse, guys, and I'll explain that once we get to the end here. So it's just started raining as I've got the last piston in, but I got there, so have a look. All those pistons and rods are in. Check out that, fellas. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad for a $200 253 in total. So I'm gonna carry on now and start putting the rest together. But yeah, there you go. All the pistons and rods are in. Turns out, unfortunately, Uncle Tony's hack isn't going to work on these pistons and rods. You cannot turn them around, guys. They have to go in with the dot facing the front. So it was worth a try. Heard a lot about it. My mate hit me up the other day and he asked me if I was going to do it, and I said, yeah, alright, I'll do it. I've never done it before, but I'll have a go. Risky, if you're watching. Thanks for that, mate, but no good. But anyway, guys, every once in a while it's just worth a try. Have a crack. You might figure something out that you didn't know, and then you might have this situation where you pull everything apart and go again. I don't know. It's worth it. I reckon the reason why I'm doing this sort of stuff is for the fun of it and to learn, and it's the journey that you go on, and there's no journey if you're not trying anything new, you know? So, guys, just have a crack. And if you got a 253, let me know. And maybe you should have a crack at building something like this as well. Anyway, let's get going, putting the rest of this thing together. Got to torque up all the conrod bolts now, and then we'll look at getting these cylinder heads on. Let's go. Alright. Always, guys, work boots for a start, especially when you're walking around stuff like this. Currently this is the 253 graveyard, but we're going to revive these. So if you guys like 253s and you want to see more on the channel, we're going to revive them if that's what you want. We've got a couple of different options we can go with, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, this is my acid tank going on here, and look at that. It's been going for a couple of weeks now. And all my bolts are in there, so I'm going to pull out my head bolts now. I'm going to rinse them off, and we'll check them out. Hopefully they're not destroyed. But I think that this stuff's pretty weak, so they're probably, at the worst case scenario, it's going to be super clean, which isn't bad. So I'll pull them out now, go and give them a rinse off. Might have to give them a little bit of wire buff, and then we'll start chucking them basically in. So yeah, we'll do that now. Absolutely no corrosion left on them at all. Little bit of glue. Didn't know the glue was there, so I've just given it a bit of a scrape off. But yeah, awesome. Awesome. Highly recommend it, guys. If you've got anything that's steel or cast iron or whatever, not aluminium. that you need the corrosion taken off of, just dump it in some vinegar for a couple of weeks, especially if you've got time. You've got time to wait. These have been in here for a few weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, and they're coming out perfect. Like I won't even have to clean them up at all on the buff. So, yeah, pretty good. There you go, guys. So these have been in the acid tank for a couple of weeks, and they've come out like they're brand new. Every single one of them. I've got a whole set over here. Here are my long ones, my short ones, and they all look the same. They're all mint, so they're not rusty anymore. Threads are all good, hasn't damaged them. So yeah, I recommend it. You could probably put them on the wire buff if you wanted, but I'm not going to. They've cleaned up perfectly for what I'm doing. Also, shout out to PINJARRA Tyre and Auto for the new front runners. Obviously the hot wires are ours already, but the tyres there, 185, 75 R14s. They look killer on there, and they will definitely do the job. So they're the tallest, narrowest tyres I could get for 14-inch rims. So cheers, boys. Appreciate the effort you went to get them, and hopefully we'll get them turning pretty soon. Also got a pretty big surprise for the rear wheels. They're going to be different. Hope you guys like them. But yeah, anyway, thanks guys at PINJARRA Tyre Power. These things, they're wicked. So, alright, let's get back to the engine and get these heads on. Alright, so this is all clean now, ready to go, and I've punched in the 2 new dowels that we drilled out. So now, gonna get those cylinder head gaskets out. We'll place them on there. We'll clean the cylinder heads, the bottom of them. I'll start getting them bolted on. So the trick that I do is I use this 515 Loctite, and I just go around all my water galleries on the gasket. So I'll do that here and go around all of them. Then what I do is I'll flip that onto that side so that the sealant is facing down, and then I'll reapply again so the sealant's facing up. Just gives you a little bit of insurance against like water leaking through your gasket and stuff like that. I have had water leaks with cheap gaskets before, so I don't trust them. So some of this is a bit of insurance. Just don't put it anywhere where you don't want it to end up. You know, you don't want to end up inside the cylinder or in an oil gallery or anything like that. But yeah, around these things, water galleries and whatnot, this is the go. This is the sound of your soul. So you can just see here, put a little bit of this around, just around your water galleries. Really doesn't hurt. Alright, and then you've got your gasket, which you've applied some on as well. That's going on there. Go this way. Straight on like that. Keep in mind, all of these are all water galleries. This one needs some. Come on, Racy, pay attention. There we go. There you go. Try that getting in there. Alright, we'll whack that head on. Okay guys, just while I've got you, we're going to do one more little 1%er that I found can make a difference. Not always that noticeable, but everybody that I know that's successful does this, so I do it. And it's called spark plug indexing. So spark plug indexing, basically what you're going to do is take your spark plug and you want your electrode, once it's in its fully seated position, to be facing the inlet valve. Basically as close to that as you can. So what I do is I'll mark my spark plug, the back of the electrode, right down here. So there's my ground. So I want to know where the ground is, and I'll mark the back of that. So this is facing away from the inlet valve, and this is facing towards. Okay, so we want this facing towards. I found from my experience that when you screw these in, usually this is this part that you see. So mark that, put it in your spark plug hole, torque it up, check it, make sure you marked it, because once the cylinder head's on, it gets even harder. So have a quick look at this. I've already done a couple, but I thought I'd stop and show you this before I get too carried away. Alright, so this is spark plug 1 and 3. You can see that they are both facing directly at inlet valve. And then what I've done is I've come up the top. This is when I first torqued it, and this is the final torque. So originally I thought it was going to be here, but it wound up being around here. Same here, same with these. So I had assumed, silly, I had assumed that's where they were going to end up, but after loosening them and torquing them a couple of times, they've settled in and moved around another quarter of a turn. So just a little one there for you guys. If you're doing stuff like this and you want the best out of it you can, index your spark plugs, mark them. Once I'm done here and I've got these installed, I'm going to center punch these to make sure that I know exactly where my electrodes need to point. Alright, anyway, just a quick tip, 1%ers guys. If you get 100 1%ers, you're 100% better. Alright, let's do it. Actually, also there is a downside to this. You're going to need to buy a few packs of spark plugs, because Holden V8s, they don't have a washer, they're a tapered fit. So I've got boxes and boxes of these. This is my starting spark plug. We're going to see how it runs and we're going to adjust plugs as we go. But you're going to need boxes of these. Boxes, I've got 4 or 5 boxes of them, because I need to get every one of my spark plugs exactly where I want them. And it's time consuming stuff, but if you do it right, you're going to get good results, and it's free. And especially with me, I'm running 308, 308, 3 253s over there, 253 there, got another 308 over there. If you're running lots of the same engine, you can afford to have lots of spark plugs. So for what you get out of it, it's well worth it. And guys, give it a go, give it a try. Alright, there we have it. All of our spark plugs are indexed now. And they're all marked. So I'll come back and I'll center punch these marks to make sure I get the right ones. And then I'll know for the future, without pulling the heads, exactly where those electrodes need to point. So anyway, that's done. I'm going to put this cylinder head on, and I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll put that on. Alright, I'm just going to bolt these on loosely, and then come out and torque them up in the morning, put some sealant on the bolts and all that stuff. But I still want them falling off overnight. So get the other one on, and then we'll be done. And that's it for the day, guys. I'm going to go in now and have a drink, have something to eat, and relax with the family. See you tomorrow. Alright, next thing we're going to do is put the oil pickup on, held in with one main cap bolt and 2 smaller bolts up the front here. So I'll grab the gasket out, I'll clean these surfaces, get that bolted down. Probably goes without saying, but when you're doing stuff like this, always get all your bolts into a component before you tighten any of them down. Because if you tighten down one of the bolts and the others aren't lining up, you won't get it on. So, now these pickup bolts don't need to be tight, guys. No need to smoke them all the way to friggin' Alice Springs. Just snug them down. Snug them down. When they stop, give them about another quarter of a turn. Snug. Snug. Now, what was that torque spec for the mains again? 70 pounds. That's done. Now it's the camshaft timing cover. Alright guys, I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to like this, but this is what we're going to use. Alright, so I'm going to go through and do all of those now. You guys don't have to be here to watch this. And then we'll slap this camshaft in. Alright guys, so that camshaft is clean now. It ain't perfect, obviously. Nothing on this is. But it's clean, there's no corrosion and there's no pitting. So we're going to put this one in. This is some sort of aftermarket camshaft. I don't know exactly I don't know anything about it. All I know is that on the camshaft itself, it has EP5 CWC in the casting, and then stamped in the end it says 316H. So I'm guessing it's hydraulic. Don't know what 316 stands for, but it's definitely not a factory cam, and it is quite large compared to the one that came out of the compared to all the other 253 ones that I've pulled out. So I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's going to bind these valve springs, but we're going to try it anyway. We'll chuck it in. We don't really have anything to lose, so we'll go ahead and chuck that in there now. We'll give it a quick clean, obviously, and lube, and we'll chuck it in. We'll get the gear set on, and we're getting real close to having a finished engine, boys. So how's that? Awesome. All right, let's get this in. That's in. Perfect. Okay, time to put the gear set on. Okay guys, I picked this up off of Marketplace. 50 bucks. It is used, but it's a Rollmaster and it's in really good condition because the guy said it basically had no use at all. Got run in, got a couple of laps or something and pulled it back out. So looking at those teeth there, there's no wear on either side of those teeth, so I doubt the chain's got any wear either. So we'll chuck that in. Well, we kind of have to anyway, because the only other one we have that we can actually use at the moment is on the front of this thing. And you can't even see it. It's bad. It's way worse. So we're not going to use that. So yeah, we're going to chuck this Rollmaster one on. 50 bucks, Marketplace. It'll do what we need it to do. We're only going straight up 0 anyway. But down the track, if we wanted to degree in the camshaft, we can. Or if we want to retard or advance the timing on the camshaft, we can. But right now, yeah, we're just going straight up zeros. So let's chuck this on. And the crankshaft key needs a bit of cleaning up. Not changing the shape of the key, we're just taking the sharp edges off. Don't freak out. 0. Still a bit tight. I reckon we'll just hammer that on. Make sure it's tight, make sure it's right. Bad Chad reference. Far out. I don't think I'll ever get this back off. Maybe I shouldn't hit that on. Don't want it to get stuck on there forever because I might want to change it one day. How's that for a trick? Haven't done that before. Guys, don't be me. Don't force this thing on there and then realise you can't get the friggin' timing chain on. If it doesn't go on easy, it's not right. Remember that. I got told that and I've been basically going by that my whole life, and then all of a sudden I just completely ignore it and get something and smash on with a hammer and a punch. And I went to shit. So if it's not going on easy, guys, it's not right. So make it right. Learn from my mistakes. Alright, back to it. Oh, God. Well, that was $50 down the toilet. And almost 2 hours of driving. Because I rushed ahead and just started smacking it on with the hammer and the chisel, I've actually ruined it. So I got it stuck on there, couldn't get the cam chain on, or the timing chain, whatever you want to call it. So I had to pull this back off, but because it was jammed on, I had to get it off with a slide hammer, and then didn't pay attention with the slide hammer either, just trying to blast ahead and get this thing finished, and I've actually damaged the sprocket, and that can't be repaired. So that $50 is down the drain, and I'm gonna have to use a good one, a brand new one that I've had sitting there ready for one of these 308s, or one of the bigger engines. So I'll show you what I've done. Pretty embarrassed about it, but hey, full transparency for you guys. Here we go. So you can see where I've had to hit it on with a punch, which we'll have to hit the other one on anyway, but with this one I've hit it on and I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the chain on, I didn't think. And so I've had to pull it back off with a slide hammer, and with the slide hammer I was getting in here in between the sprockets and that was all fine, and then at the last minute I did that because I just lost concentration and just blindly was swinging away on that slide hammer and pulled it off. Thought it was all good, went to put it back on, the chain was getting stuck on the sprocket, and I went, oh, that's weird, maybe this is no good. And the guy sold me a dud, but no, it wasn't a dud, it was perfect, and I've been the one that ruined it. So I'm a dud. Anyway, nothing can be done about it now. This literally can't be fixed. This is, what a shame, because it was good. Anyway, just as well that I have an ancient one here that I picked up all the way back when I was an apprentice, this has been sitting on the shelf now for like 25 years, and I bought it because I thought one day I'm going to build like the most killer Holden V8 ever, and this is going to go on it, and it's turned out it's going to get onto the worst, cheapest, most terrible V8 that I've ever built in my life. So we're going to run our first brand new part. Well, actually we've done rings, but this is going to be our first brand new premium part going on this engine, and it doesn't deserve it, but it's what I need and it's what I've got. And I think these back in the day were like, they were super expensive. I think you can buy them now for about 200 bucks, but when I bought this on the apprentice wage, it's probably a week's worth of wages, and I've held on to it and held on to it forever, and I guess now's the time. So geez, I'm pretty embarrassed about it and pretty disappointed in myself. Oh god, what a waste. Waste of money, waste of hours. Shit. Alright, let's just get this thing on there and I'll lick my wounds another time. Alright, so that's going to go onto there. 0. And then we need that's going to go up there somewhere. We need to turn the crankshaft. Which way are we turning it? I'm going to turn it anti-clockwise. Let's skip that chain around one tooth. Get our links all lined up. So that's on. Now we need our retainer and our bolt. Where was that retainer? Alright guys, when you go to torque down your head bolts, you need to put some sealant on them. I'm just going to use some Loctite 567. It's just what I got laying around, and I'm hoping it's going to be okay, but I have heard that I'm supposed to use some Permatex. I know that the old stuff was really good. I don't know what it's like nowadays. We'll try this, see what happens. What they say, look for the best, expect the worst. We're always expecting the worst around here because we don't use anything new. You try and buy something new and you break it when you're installing it. Look at this, fellas. Hey? Getting that out of there. Might have some solid lifters here if we're lucky. Alright guys, I'm actually here piecing together some rocker gear for this thing. And I've already gone halfway through putting in push rods out of an engine that I thought would suit this, but they didn't. They were too short, so I've gone to plan F now. ABC all the way through to F. And we're running some original rockers out of a 5 litre. And the push rods that came along with them. So just cleaning those up now with a bit of a rag and some carby cleaner and chucking them on, and we should be good. So this is where I'm up to. I'll chuck all these on. I'm not going to make us watch this, guys. I'll run through and I'll do them all. Just get them done. And that's about it. We're not going for lifter preloads or anything like that, because I just don't really see the point in it. I don't want to file down any of these rocker pedestal posts or anything like that, because I want to keep them. So whatever it is at the moment is what it's getting. I'm just going to screw everything on, bolt it down, and then we'll be good. Okay guys, that's basically the end of this video. The engine is finally built and I am stoked. It definitely threw some curveballs at us this time around and took us down some paths that I didn't expect to go down, but we got there in the end, and it's looking ugly, so I'm thinking we'll probably have to give it a paint job. So maybe guys give us a comment in the comment section and just tell me what colour you want me to paint it, or if you want me to leave it like this. I don't really want to. I'd like to paint it, so we've got to come up with the colour, but it is a mix of red motor parts and blue motor parts. So maybe a mixture of those two colours or something. I don't want to run chrome. I do like black, and I do like rusty stuff, so maybe even if I leave the rocker covers like that, but I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments what colour you think I should paint it. At the moment, the rocker covers are just sitting on there, the manifold's just sitting on there, and the sump still needs to go on. And the reason for that is, for my oil return for the turbo, I want to use the original fuel pump window there, but because the timing cover that I wanted to use is off a, the one I want to use is a red motor one, but it's just corroded away and it's not fixable. It's like way too far gone. So I pulled this off one of the 5 litres, so it's going to need some adjusting. So I'll do that off camera and I'll have that ready for you next time when we come back. When we come back, this whole engine will be a running driving engine, and we'll be putting it in the car, and I'm really excited about it. But what I will do is I'll leave it like this until I hear back and find out what colours you want to paint it. We won't be putting a holly or anything on there just yet. We'll wait till it's in the car. And same with the Dizzy. But the way we are at the moment, this is a complete long motor, basically. Once the timing cover, once I've drilled out that window there, I'll put the timing cover on for good, put the balancer on for good, then the sump can go on, and I'll bolt everything down hard so that it's finished. But this is as far as I wanted to go today. I don't have any more time left really anyway this weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hey, as always, if you liked it, like, comment. And if you didn't like it, same thing, like and comment. And keep in mind guys, I'm not here to try and teach anyone anything. This is it's just what I've decided to do because it's a challenge for me to try and make something out of nothing. So I'm using scrap parts, I'm using scrap bearings for instance, I'm using anything that's old, scrap, free. The pile of things I've had laying around here for the last 20 odd years I'm trying to use, you know, like that's the challenge in this for me. And if it runs a 12, it runs a 12. If it doesn't run a 12, I've still managed to build something for nothing, for just what I've got laying around, and that's what it is. So I appreciate the comments. Just try to keep in mind that this isn't an instructional video. This is just me having fun in the shed and showing you guys what I've been getting up to. It's more for enjoyment factor than any form of education. But if you take something out of it, well, I'm happy. I'm happy that you potentially have learned something from it. But yeah, as always guys, really enjoyed having you here. I love making these videos and I feel very grateful that I'm in a position to be able to do this and have you guys keep coming back every week. So I hope you liked the video and I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers, I'll see you next time.